Hello and welcome to this edition of the Fitness Panel Lab Review. Today we're looking at a product which is called Coretex. And Coretex is a company that is based out of San Diego, and it's by a gentleman by the name of Anthony Carey. And AC, or as he's belovedly known by most of us here in the industry. Anthony's based out of San Diego, California, and he's been working for a very long time as a sort of trainer slash therapist. And over the years, he was working with a lot of patients where he had to look at balance, he had to look at getting them back into function. And his business is called Function First, because that's really his, using a lot of his integration back in, for function, getting them back into exercise. He then came up with this concept for Coretex, and what's brilliant about this product is it's just so simple to put together. It's so simple to use. It has so much application, like many of the products which we've showed on the fitness panel in the past. And again, it's one of the things that, what attracts me the most to a lot of these products is that it's simple in its usage and simple in its application. That usually makes for a pretty good product. So there's so many different things and exercises that we can do on that, which I can talk to you a little bit about. But some things that we should probably mention first is that Anthony Carey's wife is way too good looking for him, and there's a thing which is called batting above your averages, and I think in terms of Anthony Carey, he's batted well above his average with his beautiful wife Champagne. And also basically would like to thank Anthony for sending me a unit so I can demo it for the fitness panel. AC's been around in the industry for a very long time. He was an educator and presenter, does everything from Idea World to FitPro, Can Fit Pro, Filex in Australia. He's done many different shows as a presenter. And what was nice, and very similar to the Viper product with Michelle Dalcourt, is that they could both bring their knowledge of the body to their product, which really separates them from everyone else in this industry. Is that rather than creating a product and then putting the education behind it, they were able to have the education and the concepts first, and then sort of build the product and then design it around that. So Coretex has been around in application really for about 2 or 3 years, but it's really just now feeding its way into the system, and a lot of people are starting to get to know a lot more about Coretex. So what's great about the unit is on the back of it is it has these stoppers. And the stoppers, this is the larger version. There's two versions of that. There's a larger one and a smaller version. And it's just simply a matter of unscrewing this tab, and then you can change that out. Now the reason why you do that is that when you place it into the base, it allows you to have either more or less instability. And what's incredible about the design that they've been able to get with the Coretex is it's just so incredibly smooth. It's possibly one of the smoothest products that is on the market, and literally with my finger there, you can get it to sort of roll around. So what's great about the Coretex is that it comes with what it's called its sort of base support, which allows you to step onto it, holding onto the base, and then allows you to then do all the different types of movements. And as you can see, it moves in every range of motion, but the stop allows you to stop it from sort of being out of control. So it allows you to do things low to the ground, you can do things high to the ground, you can do things obviously not holding onto the base once you get a little more familiar with the product. And again, it's not just an incredible balance tool or a sort of proprioceptive tool, but it's an incredible strength tool, because its application then applies to anything that's on ground and off ground. So whether it could be lunges and things onto that. A lot of it can be sort of more ground based, and things like shoulder proprioception for shoulder strength, and also for a lot of things like shoulder rehab, where you can even then get down and just do basic shoulder rotations, come across and just do a lot of one arm rotation, especially if someone's coming off things with a shoulder injury. Moving right up to then the ability for it to be able to come off the base, come off the stand, and then it can be basically used for a lot of different purposes. For even things like where you have to balance that core while you're receiving medicine balls and doing what's
lots of different movements. So an incredibly versatile and applicable tool, like a lot of things that we're showing on the fitness panel recently. And again, what's nice about this is that it's very light. It's very easy to move around, take out of the base, and it allows you to go from a very unstable base like this, and then obviously an even more unstable base by changing out the rubber, or it allows you to go back to a very stable base, putting it back into the support. And then once you get much more used to this, and if you ever see Anthony using this, it does allow you to have a lot of instability. If you're working with people that, obviously athletes in different ranges that can really, for surfers, for anyone that has a very unstable environment that needs to work on those motions, it does allow you to then get on and really challenge that progress at the balance. So, fantastic tool. This week's shirt, this is actually one of the original PT on the Net shirts. And this one says, "Here's the answer." PT on the back. And when we started the company, we came up with a bunch of taglines, and over the years we became quite well known for all the different shirts that sort of came out throughout the years. So this is one of the old original PT on the Net shirts. So thank you very much, PT on the Net. So again, when looking at products, as we sort of break it down, what's great about it is that it's a very, very solid product. This base is, well, the actual disc itself is almost sort of unbreakable. You've got the changeable rubbers, like I said, just goes on and off in seconds. The ball bearings themselves could just come out.